Oh, that was in sync.
Welcome back to What's the Wave? My name is Jacqueline Grace, and this is a show where we sit down with members of the Alpha Wave Studios community every third Wednesday of the month at our open mic nights and get to know them a little bit better. Tonight, I'm here with Keeni.
Hey guys, so happy to be here.
Welcome to the show. I am so excited to have you here, not only because you are my good friend, but because we have a lot of independent artists following us here on the Alpha Wave Studios Instagram, and I felt like you were the perfect person to ask a little bit about that and to kind of maybe share some advice and drop some knowledge on what your independent artist journey has looked like thus far. So I wanted to see if you could tell me a little bit about maybe like the beginning of your musical journey.
I had been sitting on wanting to be an artist for about 6-7 years. So I'd known like that I took a production class, and I already knew my influences were Imogen Heap and her engineering, because I was trying to find a way in. So it was a long process before finding the art, because I went to school for sound recording and became an engineer, working in the studio, working live sound. A lot of my music revolves around everything I learned from learning from that school and from everything I learned in the studio, all that stuff.
I think that's a part of being an independent artist that a lot of people don't consider how important it is to craft and like hone in your skills in the studio, because as indie artists we're doing so much of it by ourselves. So I wonder if you have any advice to artists who, I mean, this was me as of a couple of years ago, but I was like, I really want to pursue music but I don't have a lot of experience in the studio. How do you think artists can get better?
Be kind to yourself and give yourself time.
True.
That's the hardest bit. We want to go in, we have an idea of what it's going to look like and what it can look like, and it just won't look like that for a minute. You have to really try and go into the studio if you can find the most affordable way to go into the studio as much as possible, whether it's record yourself and like play around with your own sounds, or just songwrite as much as possible, right? Or just go to open mics as much as possible, record how you perform. What can you work on? It'll be so uncomfortable for so long. And I'm still in that phase where I see the videos back and I'm like, here's what I would change, here's what I would do better, here's what I need to develop. But even still, those years of being in audio school, mixing all these things and finding out what I liked took me so long. After college, the first couple years working, but producing my own songs, being like, this is not right, let me work with a producer, and taking lessons from them. And it's still not quite where I want it to be, but now I know to look for other people, and I learn from them as much as possible, ask as many questions, and experiment on my own in my own time, my own free time. Also, performing live, right? I didn't have a lot of performance experience. A little bit of theater, sure, whatever. But then going out into open mics and by myself and just taking video, we try. And then one day I met somebody at an open mic and we started doing shows together quite often. It's just been me going out there, playing the same cover songs over and over again and being like, what would I change? What would I do differently? Experiment, fail a million times. It's an ongoing process. But again, give yourself grace.
100%.
To really embarrass yourself.
This
is a very embarrassing process.
It's gonna be awkward sometimes, gonna be embarrassing.
Yes.
Every indie artist I feel like has been through that, but I love that you're so open about that journey, especially at like your live shows and open mics, because even at our own open mic, I know for sure that you've inspired other artists here by just being your authentic self and by like kind of proclaiming you don't have all the answers, but you do put in the time and the work. If there's anything I've taken away from what you said, to put in the time. I think as indie artists, it doesn't look like the same for all of us, and that's what I found so cool about your journey, and like how open you are on social media about all of it. So I wanted to ask a little bit about, in the space of that, how you found your sound.
That was hard. That's been a long journey, and it still is an ongoing one. I think we're so creative and we have all these ideas and inspirations, and you don't know how to connect them. That's the hardest part. I can't say that I've really found it, but I have found something consistent recently when working with a producer that I really like. And when it came down to is like, this is what makes me feel right. This is the world I want to create, is very spacious, has a lot of high production value. Saying, okay, that was interesting, that was proud of that song, but maybe that's not right. And right now I'm sticking with a sonic lane that's very Lana Del Rey meets Sia. In a little bit of that, like very spacious, really ethereal in that kind of way. Ultimately, you're the artist, and it's gonna sound like you no matter what. Make it a point to make sure it's authentic, right? You listen to yourself and say, that when you hear it back, that sounds like me. I've had that feedback where I was like, someone said, this song doesn't sound like you. And I looked at it and I was like, I am trying to sing like I'm Marina and the Diamonds.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm sorry, I can't help it. I love her so much.
Yeah.
But they're like, cool song, but like, that's just not you.
That's insanely good advice, because I think I'll go on YouTube and I'll be looking up like Lana Del Rey type beats or like this type beats.
So useful.
Get inspired. Yeah, and it's super useful. But I think even in myself, like and I've talked to other artists who have experienced the same, we limit ourselves in these boxes, but when we really trust ourselves, when we start connecting to our music on a level that isn't just, are people gonna like this? Does this sound enough like what I'm trying to go for? Eventually, it kind of just comes together, and now I feel like when I've listened to your music, I'm like, that is so her. Just like, to veer off that point for a second, I think people get so in their head about like the networking, and when you break it down, all you're doing is connecting with other artists who are all doing the same thing. Exactly. We all, I feel like when you're an independent artist, even if you're a signed artist too, you need other people. You need a village behind you and a community, and you got to be a villager when you do that too. So
yes,
I know I've seen people at these open mics come up to you and ask to work and ask for your advice, and to be so giving and nice about that is,
and they give back. That's the thing. You make relationships with people that are willing to give you something and give you, even if it's just feedback or even like you know, just a like sometimes, like that was cool. Like even that is just so big. So it's crazy how that works out. You can never, as much as I try to predict what people are gonna like,
that's 100%.
Never know.
You can never. Yeah, so it's almost not even worth putting the brain space. But
it really is almost not worth it.
Yeah, but that's why I love talking to you, and that's why I wanted to bring you on the show. Sometimes I get this sense, even in myself, like this anxiety when I talk to other artists, and you're someone who's been so like important in my journey, because you remind me to have fun with what I'm doing, be honest with what I'm doing, and trust the process. Like I really do get all of that from you. So if you have any other final words that you'd like to say to our Alpha Wave Studios audience, and to let people know where they can find you on social media and what you have coming up. I know I just threw all that at you.
Just go do it. I know it might not turn out how you want it to turn out, but just be open to the possibility of something happening. Really bad.
Yeah.
What I have coming up, I have an EP coming out that I'm really excited about. It's been 2 years in the making, and I'm really proud of it. So I hope you enjoy it. It should be out in a couple months, fully. It's coming out as singles for the next couple of months.
Sweet. Oh my gosh, we can't wait.
Yeah, my name is Keeni. You can follow me at Keeni Music everywhere there is.
Keeni, thank you so much for joining us
Thanks for having me.
What's the Wave? Of course. We will see you guys next time.